Hope Valley is about to face something it has never faced before. And this time, it's not just about love or friendship or even heartbreak. Something hidden in the past is slowly rising again, and season 14 of When Calls the Heart is teasing changes that could reshape everything fans thought they knew. Just when life seemed to settle into peace, the town is pulled back into uncertainty, and the biggest question is, who is really safe when secrets finally come to light? After years of emotional journeys, quiet romances, and unexpected tragedies, Hope Valley finally appeared to be stepping into a calmer chapter. The town has always been known for its warmth, its strong community bonds, and the feeling that no matter what happens, people stand together. But beneath that peaceful surface, season 14 is teasing that something is shifting in a way fans cannot ignore. It feels like the calm is not permanent. It is only the pause before a much bigger storm. The emotional center of the story still revolves around the characters fans have followed for years. Relationships that were once uncertain are now entering new phases, but not without tension. Love in Hope Valley has never been simple. It always comes with sacrifice, timing, and difficult choices. And in season 14, those emotional struggles seem to grow even deeper, as if every decision carries more weight than before. Even the strongest bonds are being tested in ways that feel unexpected. At the same time, the town itself feels different. There is a quiet sense that Hope Valley is holding on to something unspoken. People are moving forward, yet shadows from the past continue to appear in subtle ways. Old memories, unfinished stories, and unresolved emotions are beginning to surface again. It is not loud or dramatic at first, but it is persistent. And in storytelling like this, when the past starts knocking again, it rarely comes alone. Fans of When Calls the Heart know that Hope Valley has always balanced comfort with emotional intensity. That balance is exactly what made the show so powerful over the years. But season 14 seems to be leaning more into emotional unpredictability. Nothing feels fully secure anymore. Not relationships, not friendships, and not even the future of the town itself. Every moment seems to carry a hidden question underneath it. What makes this teaser even more interesting is the feeling that change is not coming from one single event. Instead, it feels like multiple storylines are slowly building towards something larger. Small tensions are forming across different parts of the community, and while they may seem unrelated at first, there is a growing sense that everything is connected. That kind of storytelling always signals that a major turning point is approaching, and yet despite all this tension, Hope Valley still holds on to its emotional core. The heart of the series has always been its people, their loyalty, their courage, and their ability to rebuild, even after loss. Season 14 does not appear to take that away. Instead, it seems to challenge it. It asks a powerful question. What happens when even strong hearts are pushed closer to breaking point? There is also a deeper emotional layer forming this season. It is not just about external events, but internal struggles too. Characters are not only reacting to what happens around them, they are also questioning their own choices, their own past decisions, and the paths they thought were right. This inner conflict is what often creates the most powerful drama, because it feels personal, real, and unpredictable. As the teaser continues to unfold through hints and subtle reveals, one thing becomes clear. Season 14 is not simply another continuation of Hope Valley's story. It feels like a shift in direction, a chapter where comfort and crisis exist side by side, and where even the smallest decision might lead to consequences no one is ready for. And just when things feel like they are settling again, the sense of mystery only grows stronger, as if Hope Valley is quietly preparing for something that will change everything once more. As season 14 slowly unfolds, it becomes clear that Hope Valley is no longer simply dealing with everyday struggles and heartfelt romances. Something deeper is building beneath the surface, something that has been quietly waiting for the right moment to come out. And now, that moment feels closer than ever. The teaser hints that not all truths in Hope Valley have been told, and some of them may change everything once they are revealed. The most powerful tension this season comes from the feeling that the past is not finished with the present. Old decisions, forgotten promises, and unresolved conflicts are beginning to resurface in unexpected ways. In a town where everyone knows each other, secrets never stay hidden forever. And when they finally come out, they don't just affect one person, they ripple through the entire community. In When Calls the Heart, emotional storytelling has always been tied to personal history. But Season 14 seems to push this idea even further. It feels like characters are being forced to face parts of themselves they have avoided for years. Some truths are uncomfortable, some are painful, and some are simply unexpected. Yet all of them carry the same weight. They cannot be ignored anymore. Relationships, which have always been the emotional heartbeat of Hope Valley, are now entering a more fragile stage. Even the strongest bonds are being tested by doubt and uncertainty. Trust becomes a central theme this season, and not just between couples, but between friends, families, and even the town itself. When trust begins to weaken, even small misunderstandings can turn into major emotional turning points. At the same time, the teaser suggests that Hope Valley is not just dealing with emotional secrets, but also larger unanswered questions connected to recent events. Strange circumstances, unexplained tensions, and subtle warnings all point towards something bigger forming in the background. It is not fully revealed yet, but the feeling is impossible to ignore. There is a deeper story waiting to unfold. What makes this season especially intense is the way it blends emotional drama with mystery. Nothing is presented in a straightforward way. Instead, information is slowly revealed piece by piece, forcing both the characters and the audience to connect the dots. Every new detail raises more questions than answers. And in a story like this, that usually means the biggest shock is still ahead. Even the peaceful image of Hope Valley begins to feel different under this pressure. Familiar places and familiar faces now carry a subtle sense of uncertainty. Conversations feel more meaningful, pauses feel heavier, and even silence seems to hide something important. It is as if the town itself is aware that change is coming, but no one knows exactly when or how. There is also a growing emotional divide between holding on to the past and moving forward into the future. Some characters are trying to rebuild and stay hopeful, while others are still trapped by memories they cannot escape. This conflict creates a powerful emotional contrast, showing that growth is not always easy, and sometimes healing takes longer than expected. And just when it seems like the tension cannot rise any further, the teaser drops another layer of mystery, a sense that one major truth, something deeply connected to Hope Valley's past, is still waiting to be uncovered, something that could connect multiple storylines at once and completely change the direction of everything that follows. At this point, it becomes clear that Season 14 is not just about continuation, it is about revelation. And every revelation comes with consequences that no one in Hope Valley is fully prepared to face. As Season 14 moves deeper into its story, the emotional pressure inside Hope Valley reaches a point where nothing can stay hidden anymore. The teaser makes it clear that this is not just another peaceful return to everyday life. Instead, it feels like everything the town has built over the years is now standing on unstable ground. One truth, one decision, or even one unexpected arrival could be enough to change the direction of everything. The most intense feeling this season is uncertainty, not just about events, but about people. In When Calls the Heart, characters have always been written with strong emotional bonds and deep connections. But now, those connections feel more vulnerable than ever. Even long-standing relationships are no longer completely safe from doubt, misunderstanding, or emotional distance. And when trust begins to weaken in a close community, every interaction starts to carry hidden meaning. Hope Valley has always been a place where problems are faced together, but Season 14 suggests that unity will be tested like never before. Certain choices will force people to take sides, even when they don't want to. Emotional loyalty will be challenged by difficult realities, and some characters may find themselves torn between what they feel and what they believe is right. That inner conflict becomes one of the strongest forces driving the story forward. At the same time, the sense of mystery continues to grow stronger. The teaser carefully hints that not everything happening in Hope Valley is random. There are patterns forming, connections between past events and current struggles that slowly start to make sense. But just when the audience begins to understand one piece of the puzzle, another question appears, pulling them deeper into uncertainty. This constant cycle of revelation and confusion keeps the tension alive throughout the season. What makes this phase of the story especially powerful is how personal everything feels. It is no longer just about outside challenges, it is about internal battles. Characters are forced to confront fear, regret, and long-held emotions they have tried to ignore. Some will be pushed to make decisions they never imagined facing. Others will be forced to accept truths that completely change how they see their own lives. And through all of this, Hope Valley itself feels like it is changing. The town that once represented stability now feels like it is entering a new era, one where nothing can be taken for granted. Even the most familiar moments carry a sense of unpredictability. This shift is subtle, but it is powerful enough to reshape the entire emotional tone of the series. There is also a growing sense that Season 14 is building towards something bigger than a single storyline. It feels like multiple emotional threads are slowly converging toward one final turning point. A moment where secrets, relationships, and past decisions all collide at the same time. And when that moment arrives, it could redefine not just individual lives, but the future of Hope Valley itself. In the end, the teaser leaves viewers with one lasting feeling: anticipation mixed with tension. Everything is changing, but nothing is fully revealed. And that is exactly what makes this season so gripping. Hope Valley is not just continuing its story, it is standing on the edge of a transformation that could change everything forever. And as the final hints fade, one question remains hanging in the air. When the truth finally comes out, will Hope Valley ever be the same again? As we step back from everything Season 14 is teasing, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. Hope Valley is not just returning, it is evolving. This is not the same peaceful town fans first fell in love with years ago. It has grown through heartbreak, survived through loss, and rebuilt itself again and again. But now it feels like the story is reaching a stage where rebuilding is no longer enough. Something deeper is about to be tested. What makes When Calls the Heart so powerful, even after all these years, is not just the romance or the drama. It is the emotional connection between the characters and the audience. Fans don't just watch Hope Valley, they feel like they live there. Every celebration feels personal, every heartbreak feels shared, and every goodbye leaves a lasting silence that stays long after the episode ends. Season 14 seems to understand that emotional connection more than ever. It is not trying to erase the past or replace what worked before. Instead, it is building on it, layer by layer, until the emotional weight becomes heavier than ever. That is why every teaser, every hint, and every small detail feels so important. Nothing is random anymore. Everything feels like it is leading somewhere. And that somewhere is what keeps fans holding on. Because deep down, every viewer knows Hope Valley has never been just about calm storytelling. It has always been about emotional survival. It is about people falling apart and finding a way to stand again. It is about love that doesn't come easily, but stays strong through difficulty. And it is about a community that feels real enough to believe in. But now, Season 14 is adding a different kind of pressure. It is asking a difficult question, not just for the characters, but for the audience too. What happens when the place you trust the most starts to change in ways you cannot control? What happens when comfort begins to feel uncertain? And what happens when even the strongest bonds are pushed into situations they were never prepared for? That is where the real emotional power of this season lies. Because if Hope Valley is truly stepping into a new era, then nothing will remain exactly the same. Relationships may shift, alliances may be tested, and truths that were once hidden may finally come to light in ways that cannot be reversed. And once that happens, there is no going back to the old version of the story. But even with all this uncertainty, there is still something that keeps viewers hopeful. And that is the heart of the series itself. No matter how intense the conflict becomes, Hope Valley has always found a way to heal. It has always found a way to rebuild. And it has always found a way to bring people back together, even after the hardest moments. Maybe that is why fans are still here after all these years. Because they are not just watching a show, they are watching a journey of resilience. A reminder that even when life becomes complicated, there is still room for love, forgiveness, and second chances. So, as season 14 approaches with all its secrets, emotional twists, and unanswered questions, one thing remains certain: this story is far from over. In fact, it might just be entering its most important chapter yet. And now the biggest question stays with us. Will Hope Valley survive what is coming next? Or will this be the season that changes everything forever? If you enjoyed this breakdown, stay connected for more updates, deeper analysis, and upcoming teasers from your favorite shows. Because in Hope Valley, every ending is just another beginning waiting to happen.